Okay, let's see here. All right. Hey, it's a crazy Aunt Julie, and it's live stream time. Hopefully, I'll get a couple people here. Haven't had a few in a while. Hinty, hint, hint. I know, it's a weird time, and everybody's doing things on Friday night, but I'll be here for an hour, hopefully, assuming I don't fall asleep. Which does seem to keep happening with the heat, but it's a little cooler today, so hopefully it's not that bad. Speaking of that, I should turn my fan on. Why did I have that off? Oh yeah, I was recording something. Crazy things. Julie's recording something. Alright, well, we had some good results with the first two scenes in this episode so far. So right now we're moving on to the next scene, scene 3, and almost the end of the episode. The episode is actually, I believe, 4 entire scenes. It's terrifying. I know. It's just because so many of the episodes are so short for Prisoner that, having 4 scenes, it's just not any longer than having one scene. It just depends on how long the scenes are. But let's see. So we're going to start with Mark. And we've already used up Masterton. Yes, we're starting from scratch with the voices. So this will all make sense at some point, hopefully. Okay, scene. That's the lecture. We're done with that. So we need scene 3, which I think is this, but we'll have to find out if that's all of it. Where does it end? Oh, forgot to change the headset. I mean, oh, please tell me I'm recording. Okay, yeah, the microphone on the headset always works, but I always have to switch it back and forth between speakers and headset because this is also the computer that I watch videos on while I'm doing other things. So, I don't want to wear the headset in the heat anytime I don't have to. Alright, we're looking for the line. Did I really only get one episode worth of
anything?
lines?
My thought is that the film can only hold an unnatural image so long.
Why am I not hearing anything now? Did my speakers... Oh, boy, I'll blow my brains out when I turn it up that high. My volume kind of got shifted, I
You
think.
can see that Polaroids are more likely to pick up supernatural phenomena.
Okay.
You look haggard.
La 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 la. Trying to figure out, because our recording of his lines is not as organized as I wish I had made it. So I have spent so much time just being really out of touch, unfortunately. It's not like he has a lot of lines. I'm just trying to figure out, when?
Pleased to find you're all right. How much? At least if the agents answer your question, you'll know who you won't be talking to.
Okay. Good. Then we go on to episode 9, scene 1.
Episode 9, Scene 1.
Oh. Okay, so... Okay. I think that means that this goes here. Maybe I did get all his lines and I'm just lost in my head. It's been like that for a while. Okay, and what is this over here?
Certainly come out with a...
I think you're cleverer than I thought you were.
Yes.
All right, so let's go back to 3.
And go back to the top of that scene.
All right. Oh, when?
Okay, so this goes with this stuff. We had problems with the heater making too much noise that day, which is part of why everything
Are
was...
more likely to pick up supernatural phenomena.
Is that in here? No, I think this is the lines I need for the rest of episode 7, what I'm working on. Okay. So let's hope. Okay. Let's go over here and see what we can put together. So this will be... See, and this is why you learn to make things more organized. Oh, episode... Right, we are on episode 8. Jeez Louise, Julie. I meant to... What do I have in scene 3? Okay, I just have Mark. Okay. So I'll just put that in and save it, and I'll get rid of this copy. Okay. And then some portion of this is actually scene 4 with the professor. I need to bring all of his volume up, so let's do that. For anyone who hasn't watched me do this before, I have a tendency, I volume things up and then I bring the peaks down because they make a difference in how much you can actually change the volume on things. You'll see it a lot when I work on things. I'll explain anything that anybody wants to know. I'm not going to go into a lot of deep explanations without questions, simply because I don't think there's anybody here. So if you're here, pop a message into the chat room, say hi, and ask any questions you'd like, and I will be more than happy to explain. Audacity related, audio drama related, scripting related, anything I can help with along those lines. Okay, otherwise it's just me sitting here doing some audio drama, so that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Let me get rid of these. I'll still know more or less where they are. And let's bring it up to here. And in fact... Okay, first things first, I like having 5 seconds. Oops, stop that. I like having 5 seconds of silence. Why is it being a... It's got to be the Mercury in retrograde. That does so much trouble. Might as well blame something, right? Mercury's in retrograde. I can't get anything to work. Oh, shut up. Okay, stop. Okay. We're coming from the scene where the professor's been lecturing, which was a flashback, to a scene now where the professor is present currently. The flashback was just to introduce him. He's been mentioned previously in other episodes. And so this is just bringing him into the story.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Here.
I like that one.
Did they come armed?
Now, I am missing a line here, I believe, from the professor, as far as I
Do
can.
you want me
scene
to
2.
you?
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Scene 3. No. But they knew where to find me.
Yeah, because there's a missing line, and I was very annoyed with that, but I think I can replace it. I can steal a line from later in the episode, from later in the scene, and post it there. You'll see what I mean. This is the kind of thing you sometimes have to do when you're working around flawed recordings. You can either remove if there's a question and answer or a comment and part of it's missing, you can either remove it or attempt to move another line into that space so that the full interaction doesn't have to go away. So I'm going to move another line into that spot and hope it makes enough sense that, because it does matter. And it doesn't make sense just to close it up. So we're just going to pretend it...
No. But they knew where to find me. I'm pleased to find you're all right. Oh? About the Hancock House debacle?
I get a lot of mouth noises with him. I mean, some people are like that, and and make sure I've got the
Did they come armed?
We're just, for the hell of it, we're going to put them to one side or the other just for entertainment.
What are you doing here? Did they come armed? Did they come armed? Not really.
Oh. Please.
Oh?
Okay, let's just put in space
How much do you know?
rather than constantly changing them from...
About the Hancock House debacle? Well, as much as anyone. Anyone in the organization, I suppose. Anyway.
Let's just do that.
Can you tell me what happened then? I left. Late the...
As much as anyone. Anyone in the organization, I suppose, anyway.
I was actually fine with the first take. I just took that anyway out. Sometimes things just sound better.
What do you mean?
Sometimes, a different reading on a line sounds better than your original intent, and you're fine with that.
I left. Late the night we arrived after the seance. They said the house burned down? They said the house burned down?
Yeah, I like that a little bit more panicky. The house burned down.
Sometime around dusk the next day? Sometime around dusk the next
Long
day.
after... Long after I was gone. Yeah, about that.
Now you see here in this track where it suddenly becomes much thicker. I think that's where the heat came on.
Oh, hold on.
And it's really noisy. So that was the problem we were having that whole night, was dealing with the heat going on and off.
But you are the only person left to ask about what happened.
It's an ominous sound.
Ask about what happened.
Now, luckily, just as he finished happened, the sound started. I'm not going to cut it off, but I'm going to fade it out
What happened?
so it isn't an abrupt ending, you know, and I don't have to worry about it taking over here. That's one thing you can do if you ever have concern about something sounding abruptly changing in sound. You can always use a fade out.
Yeah, about that.
I need to here. I think we had lost it, and so I needed to. But right now I need to figure out, because I didn't want.
It's more of a Oh, hold on.
I feel a heat coming over me.
Yes.
It could be a Class 3 free-rubbing vapor.
God, it's horrible. Okay. I'm going to take a chance and see if I can't get that noise out. It comes to just under just about 5 seconds. I'm working on doing a noise removal here, just to see how much of that horrible noise I can get out. I don't want to take out any more than I have to. Okay, now, and one of the things that I want to do, you know, looking at this is, let's see, I mean, because it might damage the voice too much, in which case, you know, did we just go on here?
Go ahead.
No, but they knew where to find me. I'm pleased to find you're all right.
And once again, we lost. Okay, so really, as far as I know, we've got a second whole take on this. But I'm going to see what happens if I run the noise removal anyway. Now, see how much of that is gone by comparison.
Heat.
So low.
Heat. I can still hear it through the door, but the microphone can't.
Johnson heat pumps.
Yeah, there's still way too much sound in there for me to use most of that unless I absolutely have to. So I'm going to set that as... Stop it. Everything is like too sensitive today. Including me. No. I'll just take that out. We'll just mute this so it won't stay muted. Go back up here and start again. Okay. So...
No, but they knew where to find me. How much do you... Sorry. Oh? About the Hancock House debacle? Well, as much as anyone. Anyone in the organization, I suppose, anyway. What do you mean? Sometime around dusk the next day. Sometime around dusk the next day. But you are the only person.
We were recording this back in the winter, which is why the heat was coming on.
But you are the only person left to ask about what happened.
Okay, so we're back to where we were. I'm not even going to worry about keeping this. If I absolutely have to consult it, it's in the other file. Okay, turn them off solo. Get rid of this.
You know?
Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
You know me.
Wish I...
Yeah, I thought I did. You know, stop it.
I knew you, and you never trusted me enough to let me in. I don't mean you. I mean you, all of you, the whole damn organization. I keep getting flashes of things that don't fit with what's going on, and I feel like everyone is lying to me.
Have I lied?
Let me get this click out of here.
To me.
Have I lied?
Yes.
Tonight?
I'll be going through and fixing all the timing on all of this in just a minute. Right now, I just want to get all the lines in where I want them.
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like only one left to talk or only one who walked out of there, but specifically not only survivor or only one left alive.
That's my voice in the background.
Who else? Who else is there, and why aren't they talking?
Yeah, Mark is definitely.
And now I've got one line from Agent Cook here. And technically everything else in this track is almost certainly for the next scene. So we'll put that into a scene 4 file. Can't even spell. Okay, and then, so the rest of this.
Who else? Who else is there, and why aren't they talking? I still want to know.
And the rest of this is going to scene 4 as well. And then we need, there's one line from Agent Cook.
Pizza! We'll pick up again in 15 minutes. Picking up the interview where we...
Okay, so this should be...
Would you like the professor to sit in?
This will go over to scene 3. And it goes here. Again, I'll adjust everything in just a minute. I just wanted to set it in the right place instead of having to finagle it later. And then everything else from Cook and Zachary goes into scene 4. So that ends all of this jiggery-pokery. Right, now that I've got all the voices coming, let's see. Now, prior to this scene, what we really have is Mark walking into a room and just going, "You." And then that left off the previous episode. So now we have the professor here. Now I'm going to have Mark a little bit closer to center right now. Keep the professor off to the right because that's where he really was in his lecture flashback scene. And we'll have Cook come in at the far left. We're not going to have any particular movement in this scene, though we could. But it's just for general spacing. And this is the break room, which I don't think has any kind of sound to it. But let's go ahead back one episode and look. Scene 5, edited. Whatever.
Accommodating?
I'll see what's around. Through here.
Sure.
This is sort of the...
I'm not going any... You!
Yeah, there's no sound ambiance in that room, particularly. So this is going to be a very static scene. And that's fine. I mean, because it's fine because it's quite short and there is stuff going on. Oh, and what line was I going to? Maybe I'm just going to steal them.
What are you doing here?
Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like...
You know me.
Again?
Present. They already know you are asking. Listening devices are...
Let's see.
Hmm? What do you mean?
Yeah, let's go ahead and just take that. I mean, it doesn't quite make sense. That just lets me put it in there without shifting everything and then having to shift it back again. Alright, let's get everything set up. We'll start here and see how this sounds.
What are you doing here?
What do you mean?
Did they come armed?
No.
Okay, I don't want it quite that tight then. I want to give a little bit of time before... So it's almost as if he's making a joke there, like a different thought. That'll help.
What are you doing here?
What do you mean?
Did they come armed?
No. But... No. But they knew where to find me. I'm pleased to find... They knew where to... But they knew where to... They knew where...
There's a weird noise in there.
They knew where...
Crap, at least I do have a second copy of that line.
They knew where to find me. But they knew where to find me.
You always want to use your best versions, but that does mean both sound quality and also, you know, your...
No. But they knew where to find me. I'm pleased to find you're all right.
Okay.
Not really.
Oh?
How much do you know?
Okay. Now, sometimes what I'm going to be doing is putting in more time. Because, you know, it takes a minute for...
All right.
Not really.
Oh?
How much do you know?
Because I really need to have pacing. I mean, Mark is really trying to feel his way through this situation. He's not just throwing lines into the air. This is...
How much do you know?
About the Hancock...
And this is very hard. I mean, he's really been put through a ringer.
Not really.
Oh?
How much do you know?
About the Hancock House debacle? Well, as much as anyone. Anyone in the organization, I suppose.
Can you tell me what happened then?
What do you mean?
I left, late the night we arrived after the seance. They said the house burned down?
Sometime around dusk the next day.
Long after I was gone.
But you are the only person left to ask about what happened.
Yeah, about that.
Now, again, I want just a little time here.
Yeah, about that. Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
And here's another place where he's really got to take a moment to think. I mean, even in a static scene, you've got to give characters a little bit of thinking time.
Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
You know me.
I knew you, and you never trusted me enough to let me in. I don't mean you, I mean you, all of you, the whole damn organization. I keep getting flashes of things that don't fit with what's going on, and I feel like everyone is lying to me.
Have I lied? Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps...
Have I lied? Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like, only one left to talk, or only one who walked out of there. But specifically not, only survivor, or only one left alive.
Ah.
Who else? Who else is there, and why aren't they...
Okay, so we'll move her down a bit. I should have probably had Zach come with the people.
Who else is there, and why aren't they talking?
Pizza.
And we'll put a door opening noise right here over where she's at. Take this, put it here. Yes, oh jeez Louise. It's 'cause I took it off the edge. You never want to cut or paste anything off the edge.
Pizza. We'll pick up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in? Would you like the professor to sit in? Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes.
I still
Would
want
you
to
like
know.
the professor to sit in? Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
Okay. Just a little bit more chirpy than I want her to be there, but that's okay. We'll be fine.
I still want to know.
Now this, I want him to address to slightly more.
I still want to know.
That's not directed at her, that's directed at the professor. He's trying to figure out who to trust as much as anything else. Now again, this scene is actually shorter than the lecture, but there's even less going on in some ways. So I want to fiddle with some of the volume. Just bring up some of the professor, because he's got such a low voice that more of a rumble there, that we want to make sure that he's similar or equal to Mark's voice. Okay, and I think...
I knew you, and you never trusted me enough to let me in. I don't mean you, I mean you, all of you, the whole damn organization. I keep getting flashes of things that don't fit with what's going on, and
I think Mark is going to pace. Let's do some pacing. Okay, so first off, we're going to save this file and move forward. Save project as edited to. Mark pacing feels right for this scene. He's very agitated, and there's no reason not to. And it adds a little bit of texture to a scene that's otherwise very static. You don't want to just have two people standing talking at each other. Even when there's interesting stuff being said, you want something to be going on, if you can. Okay, it doesn't have to be a constant riot, but it's nice to have something change in the course of the scene. Okay, so first off, easy part, let's pick up a door and have That's a push bar door we want. That's all outside the building. Let's just go grab a regular old door. Okay, Warehouse 13, all my FX. Wood noises, doors. What is my standard door? I think it's this one. Yeah, close enough. So we'll put it in here. Now this does have some background noise in it. So just to be, I'm going to just run a very low high pass filter on it. I mean, because if I'm going to use it over and over again, I want it to be in the best, cleanest shape possible. So, which, you know, theoretically I should do with my whole library. Alright, that's about as good as it's going to get for this one. Well, no, I could take out this little peak right here. Yes, Bunny? That's my Bunny. Bunny is my cat. So we'll do noise removal on this. Now listen to the track. Yeah, much better. But we're going to need this door opening for in another track here. I'm going to move it so it almost but not quite cuts him off.
And why aren't they talking?
Pizza!
Actually, I'm even going to take it one step further. I am going to... No, that's not what I want. This is why I usually look for the effects and move them into a thing around, because this is such annoying sometimes. I don't want to knock with a clenched fist. I just want to Thank you, Bunny. Please don't sneeze on me, sweetie. Yeah. I mean, because she's going to want to give him a second, you know, of prep. Now, the knock, I can cut it off with. And then the door opens. And that's more likely what would happen, is you'd have the knock and then the door opening. It just feels right.
Pizza!
And actually, I might have her say pizza from outside the door, because that way I feel less bad about it being sort of a perky pizza. I know that sounds weird, but really it just sounds really perky. So let's take a Bunny. Thank you.
Pizza!
Now I'm going to take that up a notch. No, not amplify. Low pass.
Pizza! We'll pick it up again.
And then... And again, that helps, because she's not really a super perky character, so it seems weird. But if she's using this as an excuse to yell through the door and get their attention and stuff, that's going to make more sense in a lot of ways. And then I could have the door open, have her take a couple steps into the room. So let's go back to the effects. Do I have steps in here? Of course not. That would be far too easy. Okay, let's go get some footsteps. Now, and I'll also need footsteps for him pacing. So in general, what I want is just some, just people feet on wood. Somebody walking on wood. Okay, good enough. And we'll take a little shuffle. That's how she's going to come into the room. And, oh, no. You know, because you know how you open the door and you're bringing in pizza.
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes.
I need a little bit more space here. Because her voice wouldn't, yeah.
Talking.
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
I still want...
And then I need to make sure to add a little bit of space here to compensate. All right, I'm good with that. This will all be moved to her side of the spectrum. And I'm going to leave her there for now. Now, the next thing, of course, is just to move Mark around. And we're going to do pacing feet for him. Just when he gives these big speeches. So, let me grab some footsteps for that. Oh, what the hell? Why was that there? This has been a weird ass week. Now what I want for pacing is, I mean, usually you pace in short things and then a shuffle at the end as you turn. So we're going to take a short, no, I don't need scene 4 voices up. That'll be tomorrow. So we're going to put in, I'm going to start it here. We're going to break it up into pieces like this that are quite short. Because when you pace, you don't just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. You stop, you turn, you ponder. Sometimes you actually stop, like to make a point or something. So if I go like this and assume something along those lines for pacing, then I'm going to take something like that. Because when you stop walking, you don't generally just stop. You don't go, kadunk, I'm done. You generally, there's a moment where you're sort of scuffling a little, where you're getting your 2 feet together and all that. There we go. I can still make that. And we don't want them to all, we don't even want those segments to all sound the same, though. A little bit of noise right at the, stop it. Okay. I like that there's a little bit more noise right at the end of that, like a turn. Now, how long is that piece that I just grabbed? It's really hard to tell sometimes how long something is until you in relationship, because your screens are on different sizes, and we'll move these around, but I want to make sure I have enough space to put that little turn in. Now this one, because it's going to end, the final one there, because it's going to end when the door opens, I'm going to put a quicker ending on, something more I suppose I could just use this one again. it's going to get kind of lost in the door noise, but that's okay. All right. So we've got feet, and I'll move those around as soon as we get into doing the final thing. But right now, here's all our sound effects. I'm going to save this into a new file. Again, I save many, many copies because backing up is limited in Audacity when you're opening and closing files. Okay, so first things first, it's going to be easiest to just get Cook mixed. So let's do that. So Cook and her effects, let's listen to those. I'm going to mute that for now because it's in the way.
Why aren't they talking?
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
I still want to know.
I still am not real happy with this. Hold on. I think I'm going to change the pitch and bring it down to...
Pizza.
No, not 2. 1.
Pizza. Pizza. And in 15.
I think that'll be okay. And I want one more sound for her. I know I'm being kind of weird perfectionist, but part of what you have to learn when you're putting effects together and things like that is what noises to use and when. And that is the sound of a cardboard pizza box in this case. You don't want to, claim you have pizza and then not. It's not horribly important, but in this case, I want it there. So from the time she opens the door, she's wrangling a pizza box. And I'll take this noise down. I mean, it's not... because when you're carrying those boxes, they're awkward, and they're present. No matter what you do, they're right in your face. So let's pull all of her effects down. What I'm doing there is duplicating the track so that they all come down. Now, so let's listen to this again.
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
I still want to know.
And I think I will change tempo on this to slow the pizza box noise a bit, because I want it to last till the end, and I'm going to insert a little bit. It's not a hugely, it's not like you're wrestling with a pizza box.
We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
I still want to know.
But at least we have a pizza box. A big part of what you need to learn when you're constructing scenes is to really visualize the scene and figure out what should be there to make the scene sound right. If something is mentioned, does it have a sound? So, in this case, we do have a sound, and the sound is a pizza box. Now, right now I've got all 3 of these centered, and that's the way I do it when I go ahead and mix them. No, why were you not centered? Somehow she got uncentered. It's because I want to mix it into a mono track. I don't want it to be a stereo track. Now, she does move in the course of this now. She's not standing in the doorway. She's moving into the room. So we're going to put the doorway at 80 and have her move to 60. Or, yeah, sure, 50. It's not a huge move, but it gives her, it again adds a little bit of movement to the scene. She doesn't move until after the door opens, so we're going to blank that out. And then we'll go ahead and have her move throughout that. So she's fading out from the 80 and fading in to the 60, and that makes it sound. And then we're going to blank out the rest of the pizza noise because that's her, or at the 50, that's her when she stops and she's standing there. Okay. And so listening to that again.
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
I still want to know.
Okay. Now, and the professor is where he needs to be. So what we need to do now is, I like to bring down, that's what I say, the files, the tracks that I'm working on, just bring them to the bottom so that they're really easily manageable. I can see them, and if I need to add anything, it's right there. Okay, so now we're going to put in the pacing where it's going to go.
Yeah, about that. Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
Now, the pacing can slow this down a little bit if needed. Kind of a pain in the ass because we've already got timing done. But
Can you tell me what happened then?
What do you mean?
I left, late the night we arrived after the seance. They said the house burned down?
Sometime around dusk the next day.
Long after I was gone.
But you are the only person left to ask about what happened.
Yeah, about that. Wish I could be sure I could
okay, so this is really the perfect place for him to begin pacing because he's thinking. This is actually, he's actively thinking here. So we'll move the first pacing to here. And I'm going to actually give him a little time because, you know, I don't want to put in too much time of blank space into a scene necessarily. But I don't mind putting in the pace. Oh, stop it. I hate you. Jesus Christ. For whatever reason, nothing seems to want to listen to me today. Paste. I'm pasting that the same amount of time into all the tracks so that it all remains consistent without having to shove everything
Yeah,
around.
about that. Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
You know me.
I knew you.
And then I knew you coming on a turn. It's like he turns on him. I knew you. So this is a really good moment for the turn to happen. And
I knew you. And you never trusted me enough to let me in.
then beginning this new thought here is a good place for the next set of pacing to begin.
I knew you. And you never trusted me enough to let me in. I don't mean you. I mean you, all of you, the whole damn organization. I keep getting flashes of things that don't fit with what's going on, and I feel like everyone is lying to me.
Have I lied? Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps...
Now, that yes would be another good place for a turn, except it doesn't really fit with the general... I mean, you generally, when you pace, you don't just, like, pace a couple steps and stop. You know, you kind of do, but you kind of don't. It's something that takes up space, and similar space. So if I, you know, here...
Organization. I keep getting flashes of...
Now, actually, between those two thoughts is a good place for a turn, for a stop. And then I can bring this closer and watch that happen. Now watch, let's see how this all turns out.
Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words.
Okay.
Tonight?
And we have to listen to him because some of these sounds are very quiet in the things.
Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like only one left to talk or only one who walked out of there, but specifically not.
Now, specifically not is another good place for a pace to end. Now, in this case, I can add a couple, and to add them, I'm going to start from right before one to right before another. And the reason why is there's a trail at the end of a sound that you can't always see. So if you start from before the next sound, then you catch all the trail in here. But if you started from just after the visible part of a sound, you might end up cutting off parts of it and having it. So
Only one who walked out of there, but specifically not only survivor.
okay, so I want to pull this over so it's not stop, only survivor.
Or only one left alive.
Ah,
Who else? Who else is there and why aren't they talking?
Pizza.
So now this one we're going to shorten up because he's not intending to stop here. He's stopped by the door. So this would give me a stop. Now let's see how this sounds. I could be full of crap. But let's take these off mute and see how it sounds.
Yeah, about that.
hmm?
Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
You know me.
I knew you, and you never trusted me enough to let me in. I don't mean you, I mean you, all of you, the whole damn organization. I keep getting flashes of things that don't fit with what's going on, and I feel like everyone is lying to me.
Have I lied? Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like only one left to talk, or only one who walked out of there, but specifically not only survivor, or only one left alive.
Ah,
Who else? Who else is there and why aren't they talking?
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes.
Okay. Now this will sound better when he's actually moving with this. Now one thing that I do want to do with this is I want to volume up the ending bit. I mean, this is the punctuation in each case. And I'm actually going to take the sound of the rest of the pacing down a bit. Though we have already kind of established that the room has a wood floor. So, just a skosh, just to even it out, because it sounds like clunk, 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 you know. Just to help a teeny bit with evening everything out. Okay. Now, another thing is, where is he in the room? And we're going to be moving him around in just a minute with this, but it's going to be in scene 3, edited 4. Because again, I don't want to screw it up in my only copy. Now I'll finish this off and then I'll end the live stream. I'm actually pretty impressed. This turned into some good stuff here at the end. I wish I could edit files, but I should learn how. I really, really should. I will be learning how soon because I'm starting something. I'm starting a vlog. Now, I made a copy of the footsteps specifically as a master copy because once I blend them with his track, once I take his track and blend... God damn it, why does everything keep moving around? I swear to God, I thought I moved everything to center. Once I've blended it, it's hard to see where the stops and starts are. That's why I made a copy, so I can see where the starts and stops are. Now, in this last one, the way I see this scene, he is heading toward the professor. So this one is this one is important that he's moving toward the professor. So this one he's moving away, toward. And that's because this moment he's coming toward him. He's like, who? Who is still left? And the door interrupts him. He may only get to center here, but this is an approach and an accusation. So we start with from wherever he is to the professor, from the professor back to the professor back, and headed that way. Hi, Bunny. What are you doing? What you want, sweetie? My sweetie? Yes? I know. I should be finishing this. But she's so soft. She's shedding like crazy, though today's been a little cooler. Bunny, can you give me 5 minutes? I gotta finish. Can you just sit there for 5 minutes? No, I want attention, Mommy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make 2 copies of this track. And one of them we can start him farther over because that was the cat holding on for dear life as she tried to slide off of me. And then this is him approaching the professor. Now the professor we've got over at, let's make him 60. We'll have him approach to 50. Okay. Now, he doesn't start till here, so we can blank out all that. Cat, will you just settle down? So what we're working with really is this piece. So the first thing is from here to here, and we'll just match up with those because it's the easiest. Come on, please. From here to here, we're going to fade out. And from here to here, we're going to fade in. That's when he moves. Now, on the fade out side, you blank whatever's between those 2 moments. So here we're going to fade out. And then whatever's here, we're going to blank out. And here we're fading in. Now, here we're fading out. And here we're fading in. And since this is where we faded out, we're going to blank it there. And then we're going to fade in here. And fade out. And blank this whole bit. Now for the last bit, because he's not going to necessarily get all the way across, we have 2 ways of doing this. I can either create, the logical way to do it is actually to get rid of this and to copy this into a track that is roughly middle. This is where he's actually going to end up slightly off center on the professor's side. He doesn't make it all the way across with this set of footsteps. So we're going to blank it out there and we're going to fade it in here. And then he's going to still be in this position when he says that line. So now we listen to the whole thing like this.
What are you doing here?
What do you mean?
Did they come armed?
No, but they knew where to find me. I'm pleased to find you're all right.
Not really.
Oh?
How much do you know?
About the Hancock House debacle? As much as anyone. Anyone in the organization, I suppose.
Can you tell me what happened then?
Okay, there's a bit of a breath there that I want to cut off, because it cuts off.
Can you tell me?
Do you hear it?
Can you tell?
Hold on. I just don't like that noise. I'm going to cut it out. I mean, I've left in some of his breathing. I've
I
decided.
suppose.
Can you tell me?
That kind of makes it cut off almost. So I'm going to fade it out.
I suppose.
Can you tell me what happened then?
What do you mean?
I left late the night we arrived after the séance. They said the house burned down?
Sometime around dusk the next day.
Long after I was gone.
But you are the only person left to ask about what happened.
Yeah, about that. Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
You know me.
Oh. Let's mute that, because that's not right. I am going to bring his volume up a bit here, just in the early part, because this is going to, that's my just guide track.
Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
You know me.
I knew you, and you never trusted me enough to let me in. I don't mean you, I mean you, all of you, the whole damn organization. I keep getting flashes of things that don't fit with what's going on, and I feel like everyone is lying to me.
Have I lied? Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like,
I think I'm going to fade that a lot. I'm actually, because that yes really needs to be at the side near the professor. So I'm going to volume this and take it down more so it's
to me.
Have I lied? Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like, only one left to talk, or only one who walked out of there, but specifically not only survivor, or only one left alive.
Ah.
Who else? Who else is there, and why aren't they talking?
Pizza. We'll pick it up.
now. And I'm also going to take this volume up. This is important. This is menacing, actually, at this point. So let's go ahead and make it sound.
Who else? Who else is there, and why aren't they talking?
You know, so it's really, I mean, he's getting close. He's getting in his face.
Who else? Who else is there, and why aren't they talking?
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
I still want to know. 5.
Okay. So I think I really like that. Okay. Now, of course, we're going to put on room tone just to smooth everything out. And as usual, I take it down 25. I run Room Machine. And then I run a high pass filter. So, which gives us just a little bit more of a...
What are you doing here?
What do you mean?
Did they come armed?
No. But they knew where to find me. I'm pleased to find you're all right.
Not really.
Oh?
How much do you know?
About the Hancock House debacle? As much as anyone. Anyone in the organization, I suppose.
Can you tell me what happened then?
What do you mean?
I left late the night we arrived after the séance. They said the house burned down?
Sometime around dusk the next day.
Long after I was gone.
But you are the only person left to ask about what happened.
Yeah, about that. Wish I could be sure I could trust you.
You know me.
I knew you, and you never trusted me enough to let me in. I don't mean you, I mean you, all of you, the whole damn organization. I keep getting flashes of things that don't fit with what's going on, and I feel like everyone is lying to me.
Have I lied? Tonight?
Yes?
Oh? When?
Everyone keeps sneakily using words like, only one left to talk, or only one who walked out of there, but specifically not only survivor, or only one left alive. Who else? Who else is there, and why aren't they talking?
Pizza. We'll pick it up again in 15 minutes. Would you like the professor to sit in?
I still want to know.
Okay. I really like that. Now, last but not least, we save. We merge the whole thing. We copy it, unmerge it, close it. and put the copy into the final. And now this is basically coming directly on the heels. I'll probably put in a very short noise to connect up between this, and I need to get the flashback music for this sequence. So, I mean, really, I'm not using this music much at all right now, and we're going to have a slight transition into the final scene, which is in the interrogation room, and is about half the length of this. So we'll finish it all up tomorrow, probably. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I think I will post this one to YouTube. Just tell people to listen to the last bit as I talk about pacing. So, I guess I'm talking to the air.